Today I'm going to be doing a glowy vibes makeup look for when you really just want to look dewy and glowy and shiny. Like not even just healthy, but shiny, like beaming light up to the aliens so they can see you. So if you want to see how I get my glowy vibes makeup look, then please keep watching. I'm going to start off by clipping my hair out of my face, and then I'm going to go right in with the eyes. And as always, I'm going to prime them with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot and my damp beauty blender. So just take a little bit of that and rub it right onto the lid. Once my eyes are primed, I'm actually going to go in with a cream eyeshadow today, and this is the Makeup Forever Aqua Cream in number 13. And these I think you can use kind of all over the face, but they're basically a cream eyeshadow, and this one's a really pretty pinky gold shade, I would say. And I usually go in with my finger, but since my nails are a little too long, I'm going to take this Real Techniques shading brush and try to grab a little bit of this and put it onto the lid that way. I mean, you can't deny that my eyelids are glowing, so I'm just going to go in with a little bit more and keep kind of layering this on to make them really extra glowy and shiny to fit this glowy makeup vibe. And again, I would really recommend doing this with your finger, but my nails are just too long to fit inside this little tiny pot. And you can get chunks of fallout like that, and that's always why we do our eye makeup before our face makeup, in case it messes up all that hard work you do putting under eye concealer on. So that's pretty good for the shimmery shadow for now, and just to blend that out in the crease, normally I would go in with a eyeshadow, but today I'm going to be lazy and use my Becca Sunlit Bronzer, and this is what I'm going to use all over the face later on. But I'm just going to take that on a big fluffy brush, kind of tap off the excess, and blend this into the crease. I mean, when you have 800 brown eyeshadows, just use the bronzer, right? Now the bronzer did erase a little bit of that shimmery shadow, so I'm going to go back in with just a smidge more and kind of brighten back up the eyelids, and then I'll probably just do one more pass with the blending brush. That's the eye look mostly done, but before we move on to mascara, I'm just going to go in with my primer, and I'm just going to use my 100% Pure Mattifying Primer, because as you can tell, I'm already super greasy, and even though this is a glowy look, I still want to keep my oiliness at bay and kind of let the shimmery makeup do the talking. Now that my primer's on, and while we wait for that to set, I'm going to be using the Luminous Lash Paradise Mascara, and I'm going to take this all over my lashes. And this mascara is just fabulous, but it is really hard to get off, so use at your own risk. Now for the major glow factor, I'm going to go in with my CoverFX Custom Enhancer Drops in Moonlight, and I'm going to mix a bunch of that in with my foundation. And today I'm going to use the 100% Pure Superfruits Healthy Foundation. I'm really loving this foundation. I think it provides a kind of natural glow to the skin while still being full coverage, which is my favorite kind of foundation. So I'm going to take probably 2 pumps of this on my beauty blender, and then I'm going to mix in probably 3 drops of these CoverFX Custom Enhancer Drops. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and that looks like a lot, but it's going to be fine once it blends out. I think this color is really beautiful. So I'm just going to smush that around on the back of my hand and kind of create a mixture here, and then dot it all over the face. Once the foundation's mostly blended in, you can really see that those CoverFX Enhancer Drops really do give a nice shine and luminosity to the skin. I think last time I used them, I only put about 1 drop into my foundation, and the effect really wasn't noticeable. So this time I went for the full 3, and I think it really gave me a nice shine, but I don't think that I look too greasy or oily. I think I look just the right amount of glowy in my opinion. So now I'm going to go in with concealer, and I'm going to use one of my favorites at the moment. You all know the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. I have this in the shade Porcelain, and I'm just going to take this under the eye and then blend it out with my beauty blender. And for a luminous dewy look, you really want to make sure you take that concealer all the way into the inner corners of your eye, because that can really be a spot where a lot of people have some pretty intense darkness that you want to cover, and you're not going to look glowy if you have dark circles under your eye. So just really make sure you get into that inner corner and then blend the concealer down and up onto your cheekbone to really give you a nice lift and brightening of the face. Now to really up the glow factor on the face, I'm going to set my under eye concealer and the rest of my face with a product that's very new for me. This is going to be my first time trying it, so you'll see my first impressions. This is the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder in the shade Universal Glow. And this is just a white translucent powder, but this brand kind of has healthier, better for you ingredients in it, and I'm really excited to try it. So I'm going to first tap a little bit of that into the lid and then just pick it up with my beauty blender to set my under eye concealer, so we'll see how this looks. The powder is definitely matting down my under eye concealer. I was concerned because the shade is Universal Glow, which, while is perfect for this Glowy Vibes makeup tutorial, I thought might look a little too shiny under the eye, but it's actually looking very matte and perfect, very comparable so far to my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder that I typically use under the eye. I'm super excited about this part of the video because I have a new beauty tool that I am just so eager to try, and that is the Mer Powder Brush. Can you believe it? I have a La Mer product. I can die now and go to beauty heaven. My dreams have been achieved. Anyway, I'm going to use this and the Well People powder to kind of set the rest of my face, and we'll see how this turns out. I typically tend to use a mineral powder or a pressed foundation to set my makeup. I'm not really a big translucent powder lover, but I've heard nothing but good things about this combination, and I just can't wait to try this brush. I mean, look how beautiful it is, and it's so soft, by the way. I mean, for the price, it better be soft, and it better make my makeup look flawless. So far, this powder is looking really nice. It's keeping the luminosity of my foundation and those CoverFX drops, but it is kind of matting it down ever so slightly and just taking away kind of the tacky wetness of the liquid foundation. Now that my foundation's set, I'm really liking that Well People powder, and this brush was just amazing. It's so soft, and I think it applied the powder really evenly and nicely. I think that this powder looks very luminous. I'm not sure how that's going to work out for me throughout the day because I am oily, so it might be a little too luminous and allow my oils to peek through a little too much, but the effect for the glowy vibe we're going for is perfect. That didn't give me too much full coverage. You can still kind of see a lot of my imperfections peeking through, but that's the look I'm going for today. I want to just look glowy and luminous, and I'm not really too bothered about covering every imperfection. And now going back to that bronzer we used on the eyes, I always use this. This is my Becca bronzer in Capri Coast, and I'm going to take my Real Techniques Duo Fiber face brush, of course, and just kind of warm up the skin ever so slightly with this. This Becca bronzer is perfect for our glowy vibes because it does have a slight sheen to it. It's not a very dark matte bronzer, but it's not too sparkly where you just kind of look kind of ridiculous blending it all over your face. So I use this all over to kind of just warm me up and keep that luminosity going. And now for highlighter, I typically love powder highlighters, and that's what I use on a day-to-day basis, but I've really been loving this Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. And this is the little one. It's kind of funny looking. It looks like a little miniature deodorant where you twist it up. But I'm going to take the clean edge of my beauty blender and just kind of grab some of this. Typically, I would never put a cream product on top of powdered makeup, but I think this translucent powder is kind of fine enough and glowy enough that it's going to sit on top of it fine. And I've done this with this exact highlighter on top of thicker powders, and it still applies really nice because I find that when I apply it before I powder my face, it kind of just gets covered up, and I want the glow to really show. So I'm just dabbing it on like so, not rubbing because that will kind of move the powder around and cause it to look cakey. But I hope you can see just how amazingly glowy this is. This is just so shimmery and so shiny, and it kind of, I don't want to say it makes you look sweaty, but it makes you look just like you're glowing extra naturally. Like it's not sweaty, it's just like, it looks like your cheek could naturally have that sheen if you were really warm. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and just ever so delicately dot the tip of my nose and my cupid's bow as well with this. And then if you're feeling really extra like I am today and really want to go full glow, just dab a little bit more just above your brow bone. You kind of create a C shape here with your highlighter, and that makes you extra, extra glowy. And now that I just look super sweaty, we're going to calm it down with the highlighter and move on to blush. And I'm going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush Trio that I have here. And I'm going to take the middle shade, which is Incandescent Electra, because I think that this is the most shiny, glowy one in the palette. And I think Hourglass in general is just known for giving you that lit from within glow. And I really do love a lot of their products. So I'm going to take my big blush brush here and just grab a little bit of that blush, tap off the excess, and buff it onto the cheeks. To finish off the face, I'm going to fill in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and then I'll be right back and we'll finish off the eye look. I just finished filling in my brows with the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and now I'm going to take the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel just to set these. I don't want to use anything too dark or matte because I think that this will complement the glowy vibe a little bit more. And I just want to say that I think the combination of this foundation and those CoverFX drops and the Well People powder is beautiful. My pores really look perfected, but it doesn't look like too much full coverage. I don't have that cake face, thick foundation look to my skin. It really does still look like skin, but just very glowy and enhanced. And that's kind of the look that I was going for the glowy vibe. And to kind of finish off the eyes, I'm going to be using an oldie but a goodie, and this is the MAC pigment in Vanilla, and I have this little baby-sized one, and this is just the most intense inner corner highlight, and I'm going to use it on my inner corner and my brow bone today. I'm just taking a small flat shader brush and dipping it in there, and I'm going to try to have a light hand, but not really. We're going full glow today, so I'm going to go for a heavy hand of this in the inner corner and make sure I really brighten up that dark inner corner of my eye. I love going really overboard with the inner corner highlight, so I'm bringing it really far in and really far down and just kind of going extra dramatic for today. Hopefully it doesn't look too crazy on camera. And then I'm going to take another tiny bit more and dust that into the brow bone for an intense brow highlight as well. If you find that brow bone highlight isn't blending into the rest of your eye makeup too well, just go back in with your big fluffy brush and kind of do a few more passes over that to kind of blend everything together. To finish off this glowy vibe makeup look, I'm going to go in with the Tarte Tarteist Glossy Lip Paint in the shade Hella. And I really love the look of this, but I don't especially like how it lasts on my lips throughout the day. Like initially it looks beautiful, but then a few hours later it's kind of a hot mess. So I'm not sure if there's like a specific lip liner I should be using with this or what, but I don't know. The formula is not my favorite. I think this lip product gives the lips a really nice glossy shine that complements the glowy look very well. So I think that's going to finish it off for the face. I contemplated doing some lower lash mascara, but I think keeping it a little fresher and brighter just really goes with that glowy look a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how I got this glowy vibe for my makeup today, and thank you so much for watching.